Is gold now too expensive? The future looks positive for the price point of gold bullion as an investment, but that means we could be potentially looking at investing in only fractional bullion in our investments portfolios. Okay, so we've explained the title of the video. Is gold now too expensive? And is that going to move us on to investing in only fractional bullion only? Well, in this episode, I've broken it down into a few categories. This way we can explain the topic of this video much easier and I can get a very good point across with the evidence. Okay, so starting off, we're going to be talking about price point. What is the price of gold and the history price of gold, and where do we see it going forward in the future? Our options. What does that mean with investing in gold bullion? And then we're going to be left with the coin of choice. What is the coin of choice for investors going forward into the future with gold bullion? So the price point. Gold bullion right now is sitting at £1,900 per ounce for the yellow metal. Now, when we compare that to 20 years ago, it was valued at £225.80. Now, that's an increase of 751%, a fantastic return on your investment if you invested in the yellow metal 2 decades ago. Now, the reason I compared the two price points between now and 20 years ago is because, in my opinion, the average precious metal stacker is stacking for around 20 years, 2 decades. So to see that we've had a 751% increase in only 20 years, it's a really positive yield as an investment, especially one that's considered low risk and a great wealth preservation, a great hedge against inflation. It's the backbone of investors' portfolios. So when you can get a great return, a great yield on an investment that's considered to be low risk and hands off, that's a real nice percentage. Now, if we quickly compare that to silver, platinum, palladium, and let's say Bitcoin, for example, we can get a real idea of the price of gold. Silver right now is £21.27 per ounce. Platinum is £699.15 per ounce. Palladium is £703.29. And of course, Bitcoin, although it's not a precious metal, I just wanted to include it because I know some of you do enjoy Bitcoin. That's currently at £41,225.69 per coin. So there's a big discrepancy there between, silver, platinum, palladium, especially comparing it to gold. Gold's at nearly £2,000 an ounce, and palladium, which is second place in terms of value point, is only at £703. So there's a big gap between the second place precious metal value of palladium to gold bullion. So it really does lend perspective into the true value and to the true value of what people really appreciate gold bullion to be. If it wasn't appreciated, it wouldn't be fetching around £2,000 per ounce. Okay, so we've looked at the price of gold, the history. Is it going to continue in the future? Well, they say a good way to predict the future is to look at the past. And I really do like that analogy. For me, it's a good way of looking at investments. Now, of course, nothing is a sure thing, and that's especially the case when it comes to investing. You must be aware that even low-risk investments still carry risk. Having said that, gold as an investment vehicle in your portfolio, it is considered to be one of the safer investments, especially for the long term. Now, of course, we know that gold isn't an asset that's going to make you rich, but it's certainly going to keep you rich. And if you can make a nice profit in the meantime, well, that's a bonus as well, isn't it? Okay, so moving on to our options. We've gone through the price of gold and other precious metals. Where does that leave us with our options when it comes to investing in the yellow metal? Well, let's start off by talking about fractional and the weight of an ounce. Now, for me, basically, you've got an ounce of gold, pretty much the top end of what people invest in. We've got 1 ounce gold bars, 1 ounce gold coins. Anything below that is considered fractional. It's a fraction of an ounce. And of course, you've got 1 gram gold bars, 1/10 ounce gold coins, 1/4 ounce gold coins, and 1/2 ounce gold coins. And of course, we've got 5 gram gold bars in there as well, 10 gram, 2.5 gram. There's a big variety, but we're going to stick with the most popular ones. Now, how do you decide? How do you decide what one to invest in, especially when it comes to the price point? Do you go bars? Do you go coins? Do you go fractional? Or do you go up to an ounce or over? Well, at this current price point, gold being nearly £2,000 an ounce, I think the realistic nature of it is people are going to be looking at fractional. The reason being, it's just too expensive. For the average person who is just getting into precious metals, to spend £2,000 on a 1 ounce gold coin or 1 ounce gold bar, that's a massive amount of money. And I know, as an investor who's been investing in precious metals for nearly 4 years, when I started investing, I was nervous, I was anxious, and I wanted to start off small. And I think that is also probably due to the price point as well. So what do we do? Do we go fractional? Do we go over an ounce? Well, I think realistically we'd all love an ounce of gold, but the realistic answer is fractional is the way forward. Does that mean we're going to go for bars, coins? Where do you go for the premiums? It's a difficult answer. Obviously, you've got pieces that are legal tender, which means they're capital gains tax exempt. And of course, if you're buying a quarter ounce gold Britannia, they're fetching around £500 now. You want a capital gains tax exempt piece because one day that might just well be over the capital gains tax threshold. So for me, some gold is better than no gold, but there is definitely something to be considered when it comes to your options. Now moving on, coin of choice. We've talked about the price, we've talked about options, but where does this leave us going forward into the future? Well, the future for me is 1/10 ounce gold coins. Now, I don't actually have any 1/10 ounce gold coins because my favourite is 1 ounce gold bullion and quarter ounce gold Britannias as well. The reason for that is quarter ounce gold Britannias are for me a real happy medium in that fractional bullion range. You're getting 7.7 grams of 24 karat gold bullion in the middle of the range of fractional. You're not getting too hammered on those premiums like you do with 1 gram gold bars, and you're not locking away a huge amount of capital that you would do in, say, a 1 ounce gold coin. Having said that, the price of gold right now is high and it's only getting higher. So even quarter ounce gold Britannias, they're fetching around £500 now per coin. That's a lot of money. To be able to do that on a regular basis is not likely for most people. So for me, I honestly see 1/10 ounce gold coins being the future for investment stackers. The reason being, they're still capital gains tax exempt, and although they do carry some premiums, the premiums aren't as bad as they are on 1 gram, 2.5 gram and 5 gram gold bars. So that then leaves you with the option of going for 1/10 ounce gold coins. Now I know some of you out there will be saying future investments, sovereigns. They're 22 carat and they're slightly cheaper than 24 karat Britannias and stuff like that. That's absolutely true. But for me, I'm a Britannia stacker. I'm a 24 karat weighted bullion stacker. So it's my preference of choice. When we compare the price right now, a quarter ounce gold Britannia is going to set you back £500, whereas a 1/10 ounce gold Britannia is going to set you back £220. So you could pick up 2 1/10 ounce Britannias for the price of a quarter ounce gold Britannia and you'd have some change. Great reasons for that, because you have liquidity. You're not locking away a huge amount of money like £500 into one asset, and you can liquidate it, you can move it, you can hold it in separate locations. And of course it comes back to the affordability. Fractional is the future despite the premiums. It all is about the affordability. Whether you're a stacker of more collection edition pieces or you're just a weight stacker, I think the realistic nature of it is the way that gold is right now with its price, it's forcing us to become more fractional stackers than anything of an ounce and over, purely because of the price point. And I really do see the future of gold being popular with 1/10 ounce gold Britannia coins, because it's a great weight, it's a great store of wealth, it's still a nice amount of wealth to put away, but it's also not too small that you're getting absolutely ruined on those premiums. Okay, so we've talked about the coin of choice. We've discovered it's a 1/10 ounce Britannia, in my opinion. How do we conclude on this video? What's the conclusion? Well, gold for me is a tier 1 asset. It's the backbone of my investment portfolio, although there's a premium to be involved. Gold's extremely expensive. So if you want to get involved on this sexy asset that's a long-term, low-risk, high wealth preservation device, you've got to pay the premiums to get involved. You've got to get your wallet out. Fractional is the future. I think for me, that's a given. You know, looking at the price point of gold, due to the affordability, it's pushing us to become fractional stackers. And the coin of choice has to be the 1/10 ounce gold Britannia. Eventually it's going to get to a point when even that is expensive. So of course we can talk about inflation and the rate of wages going up, but in my opinion, I don't really see the proportions keeping in line with each other. I think gold's going on a real nice price trajectory. However, whatever you stack, whether it's gold bars, gold coins, 1 ounce or up, or 1 gram gold bars, it's better to have some gold rather than no gold. So don't let me put you off. Don't let me motivate you either. Make sure you make your own financial decisions and do your own research. I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've thoroughly enjoyed talking about gold being extremely expensive and is it pushing us towards fractional bullion only. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode and I look forward to seeing you all in the very next episode. Bye-bye.